This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, folks, and thank you for your flexibility and your patience tonight. We welcome you to a meeting with the County Commissioner of Bladen County. Honored to serve you in that capacity. I'll ask you all to stand. Recognize the kids bear from the White Creek Baptist Church to lead us in our invocation, and Paul R. Brown and our pledge of allegiance.
Ready to go. Our holy heavenly God, we gather in a building upon which we have fixed the words, "In God we trust." And so we pray to you, that God, the God we claim to place our trust, our faith, our hope, and our all in. And I pray, Lord God, that that is true for every individual who is here. I pray that that is true for our county commissioners as they seek not only to live lives that honor you, but lives that honor in service as they serve the people of Bladen County. Yes. In that capacity, I ask that you would grant them wisdom and knowledge, that they would seek to serve and not to be served, that they would seek to lift up and not to be lifted up, that they would encourage instead of being encouraged. But God, I pray that we, the people, would be their encouragers, and that we would lift them up and we would support them and we would be there for them as you are for us. And God, we ask now that you would be in all that is done. We ask that you would guide our hearts and minds, our thoughts and our mouths, that we might speak and say and think and honor you in all we do and all we are. Be glorified here. We ask all of this in the name, the precious name of the risen Savior, Jesus our Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Amen.
Howard, and Harry, Howard, Howard, Howard. Howard, 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 B, and on. Sir, requesting permission. Sir, permission to present the color.
Mission granted.
Aye, sir. Harry, colors. Colors reverse. Heart. B, and on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Harry, colors. Colors reverse. Heart. Breathe and on. Sir, permission to retire the color.
Mission granted.
Aye, sir. Harry, color. Right, eight. Forward, heart.
Stop, y'all. There they are. We're so proud of y'all, and this is the best part of our whole commissioner meeting each week. I promise you, it's the part we look forward to. There you go.
Thank you.
God bless you. Congratulations. Y'all have a good. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you good?
Good job. Entertain a motion to approve the consent items. Motion to approve. Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Let the commissioners come down. We have a spread presentation of Public Safety Telecommunications Week proclamation.
If we can take a moment and let Ms.
Absolutely.
Singletary introduce your staff that's here tonight.
I'm Beth Singletary, I'm the director. This is one of our supervisors, Aspen Batten. This is Amy Callahan, another supervisor. And if I could read out all of our telecommunicators. Corey Alambus, Krista Pate, Victoria Young, Laura Watts, Dana Swigert, JJ Singletary, Peyton Squires, Jessica House, Wendy Mills, Aaron Battle, and Sarah Murphy.
National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, whereas the 911 telecommunicators of Bladen County Sheriff's Office are the first and most critical point of contact during emergencies, serving as a true first responder by providing calm, immediate assistance, and life-saving guidance before help arrives on scene. And whereas 911 telecommunicators must exhibit professionalism, patience, and accuracy while handling high-stress situations, often making split-second decisions that impact lives and property. And whereas Bladen County Sheriff's Office 911 telecommunicators work tirelessly behind the scenes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to ensure that emergency calls are answered promptly and that police, fire, and medical services are dispatched efficiently. And whereas the dedicated service and expertise of the Bladen County Sheriff's Office 911 telecommunicators contribute significantly to the safety and well-being of each citizen of Bladen County. And whereas through each call, the 911 telecommunicators of Bladen County bear witness to emergencies in real time, sharing in the intensity and emotions of those moments and carrying a lasting impact on those experienced long after the call has ended. And whereas National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week provides an opportunity to recognize and honor the invaluable contributions and dedication of each Bladen County Sheriff's Office 911 telecommunicator. And now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Bladen County Board of Commissioners declare the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2026 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Bladen County in honor of the Bladen County Sheriff's Office 911 staff for their commitment, compassion, and service.
And on behalf of the commissioners and the county, I don't know there's a more thankless job, a less recognized job. Nobody sees you, nobody knows you're there, but without your voices, the people that do show up wouldn't be able to. So thank you for all that you do. God bless you.
We would, Commissioner, like to thank you for what you do.
Every day. Amen. All right. Time will recognize individuals and delegations wishing to address the commissioners. Jeff, how are we doing on number there? Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Marie?
First one is Mr. Thomas Jones.
Thomas Jones. And we really need the folks from Pioneer in here. Come on up, Johnny. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, just give it a second. Believe it or not, we are all very grateful when citizens come and talk to us and don't just talk about us. So, but we would ask, as always, that we be respectful of the time. There's roughly a 3-minute limit on each of the speakers, just so that everybody can have opportunity to share. All right. Yeah, we're still waiting on Piner. We need Gary Piner and his 2 guys. They need to hear what's being said. you all for stepping out, and thank you even more for stepping back in. We wanted you to be here for this part of our meeting. Some chairs up there, Gary. Some places over here. Right behind Mr. Brady. Got some right here, right there if you want to.
Chair.
Mr. Chair. Some of them may come up in too, so if you want. Here, if you want, right, yeah. You guys just, there's a couple seats right there if you want to. We're out of time for a public comment, but I imagine the public comment's gonna want, you need to hear.
Okay, sure.
All right, so if y'all just have a seat, let Mr. Jones begin. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McGill.
Yes, sir.
And board, I just had a few follow-up comments and questions from the previous meeting that we had in March. During the conversation we had, there was, the appraisal, company, we discussed having some explanation from Pioneer and the appraisal company here to help explain why the differences were so much greater this time than what I think anybody was expecting. And I recognize that with the update that's coming later in the meeting, it may answer the questions that I have, but I'm going first. So that's the question. Has it been requested? The answer is yes, obviously there. So the next one I have is, the previous meeting also included a discussion to extend the appeal deadline. I request that again formally. I had quite a bit of difficulty doing comps, trying to do the appeal from the paperwork. So I guess formally I would like to request a deadline to be extended and have that recorded in the minutes of the agenda for the commissioners meeting. Whether it be 2 or 3 weeks or whatever the board feels is appropriate. And then the last one that I have, when I reviewed the FAQ, which I thought was very well put together, one of the things that I felt like was missing was a section that may include the rights of homeowners or property owners. For example, Chapter 105, Article 19, Section 317 includes the requirement that owners may request from the assessor the property to be personally visited to verify the characteristics of the property. So that's a right that the homeowners have, but that's not included in, in the FAQ on how to do that. And it's really not clear on exactly how someone would go about making that request. If it's a request to the board, we don't have a board of equalization and review like some counties do. That's my other request, the FAQ be revised.
And I'll start with the end. We do have a Board of Equalization review, and we'll enter into that. You've got at least 2 meetings that will be established. So we'll meet as long as we need to, as often as we need to.
Great.
And I appreciate you being here. The week after, or I guess a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days after you were here, Mr. Cream and myself drove out to your property and drove around the other properties around. You wanted to kind of get our eyes on things. And you were kind of the guinea pig that I used as I met with the Pioneers.
Sure.
And his group 2 weeks ago with Mr. Croom. And so, I think we definitely realized there was an issue there. So again, we appreciate you bringing that to our attention. I think for everybody in the room, we need to understand that there's 2 things that we're in the process of doing. And one is making sure that the values are accurate. And I'm not going to steal Gary Piner's thunder, but I think the number that they shared with Mr. Cream and myself was they felt like they got about 80% of the values correct around the county. About 20% were incorrect, and they needed to make the 20% right, and they were going to.
Yes.
One thing that's probably not public information at this point is fixing to be, and that is that the last assessment we did was a drive-by assessment. Every property I laid eyes on it, so see a lot more about it. This, in an attempt to save a little bit of taxpayers' money, it's called a desktop assessment. So the evaluations were made on a computer. which means you miss things, and they're very, they're very honest about that. There's just not as much you can tell. I'm sure when those three gentlemen, along with Renee, walked in the room, they probably, somebody gave them the evil eye. But knowing them personally, they are good, honest people and want the outcome to be fair to the county, be fair to the citizens, even more importantly. The deadline we will discuss tonight, at this point, Renee knows just to keep receiving, as long as they're coming in, the next week or so, that it is a process. It's more difficult for some people than others, and trying to, like you said, finding comps. One of the things that we discovered over the last couple of weeks is not a lot of people selling their houses now, so there aren't a lot of comps. People that have a home that's got a mortgage with 2.75% interest they're not going to sell that house and go out and buy another one at 6.5%. So it was difficult in some areas finding comps. If you did find a comp, sometimes it was an anomaly of somebody that paid way too much for it. So a lot of factors going on. As far as requesting somebody to come by, as they go through the appeal process, there will be eyes on the property, I promise. There's already been a few, and there will be more.
Thank you. Thank the board.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Marie?
Standing by.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been paying taxes about 45 years on that property I got up there. It's just a double wide, it's 1989, I've been in it for 37 years. And they don't appreciate it, they depreciate. And I went over there, and they, the way it looks, y'all owe me a refund on what I've been paying though. But I had to do some remodeling this year and it still needs some remodeling. And I got a shed there where my big shed there where RV's at. I ain't got $4,500 in it, and they appraised that thing at $10,000. And I got a metal shed out there. I brought it down off a construction job put together. I got $900 on that, and it ain't worth $200 up there. And nobody's called or done anything, tried to come up there and talk to you or nothing. And they doubled up on the house up there. They got it valued more than what I get back out of it if something happens to it up there.
And have you filed the appeal?
I already filed the appeal. I ain't heard from nothing from nobody.
And they're working through them. They have about 700, I think, and are expecting probably another 200 or 300. They're working through them. It does obviously take, you want them to do a thorough job.
Yeah.
But I promise you somebody will be in touch with
They
you.
contact me and come up to the house. I don't want to talk on the phone.
No, absolutely. We understand. And any of the folks that are here tonight that are here specifically about the reevaluation, please make sure that Ms. Renee back there has your name, because by the time this meeting's over, some of us, we may be trying to connect names and faces and properties. So we want to make sure as we follow up, we have the right folks.
And I got all the information in my appeal, whatever, where everything's in there, so y'all can see it on the appeal there.
And I will tell you, and it seems like a very unusual situation. We found this out very early in the process. This is the first time, I think, since the Pioneer Group has been doing appraisals that they are seeing mobile homes increase in value, but not to the extent. We certainly understand what you're saying. We've had others that seems to be an area that is off a little bit, is in the mobile home.
So as long as I've been paying up there, I've never seen an increase like this before. And is it because they got a bill at their assembly, they trying to rush a tax item before that bill gets passed?
No, sir. So the bill that's coming before the assembly is a reaction to what's taking place all over the state. What the reassessments that's happened in the 100 counties that make up North Carolina is what's prompting that. And that's still a work in progress that eventually will probably be a referendum for folks to vote on. And then we've got a whole other series of issues that we're going to have to face. What we don't want to do is be forced to do an annual or a yearly reevaluation, because it's not cheap. But, I'll say this, trying to get everybody's values where they need to be, step one. And we're going to keep working until we get there. I know many of us losing sleep, we're wanting to know how can we get this thing right. I know the Pioneers are as well. And then once the values are close to where they need to be, then we're going to look at a tax rate. We're going to do everything we can that a year from now people will say, listen, I don't trust politicians. When they say trust me, I say I ain't, okay? And most of us don't consider ourselves politicians. We're public servants.
I don't either.
Yeah. But all I can say is, don't believe what you read on social media. There is no pet project. There is no ulterior motive. We're all 9 of us, and the 2 sitting over here, and those and these, they're all taxpayers, and we want to make sure at the end of the day that we do as much good for the county with as least possible. We know, all of us, everything's gone up, and we truly do sympathize with what's going on. This is not something we can try to get something out of the citizens, and we're gonna be with you until we get it remedies.
I know it's gone up, but it ain't gone up that doggone much. We never had this problem until now. Everything went pretty smooth out there. 45 years been doing this, and all of a sudden, my mind doubled on mine.
Mine did too. And I do think if you know, the news is telling us it's happening all over the state, and that's unfortunate. It really is. But again, we appreciate you being here. I promise you we're listening. We're gonna do what we can. I know Renee's got an enormous on her plate right now. She's handling it well, and she will help in the way that she can. And the names that she gets and the properties, we'll make sure that the Piners get them as well. You guys have made the extra effort to be here tonight. We want to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks at all. All right? Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Just one thing citizens should know is we did not ask to have this revaluation done. It was a mandate by the state that we have this done. So, you know, a lot of people are thinking, hey, we wanted to do this.
Yeah, believe me, we didn't. At the end of the year, basically, the state looks at our sale prices of our homes compared to the tax values of the homes. And as I understand, roughly 87% value is acceptable. Anything below, it's not. We actually voted a couple times, no, we're not doing an early assessment. Third time, you pretty much got to go with it. We were as shocked as you all were. We didn't sit and get all your tax cards and evaluate them. See, I think that's good. Let's send them out. We were as surprised when we went to the mailbox and got ours as you all were. Believe me. And there again, you know, thankful we live in a country where you have taxation without representation no more. You have representation. You get to be here tonight. You get to speak to it. And the people you're speaking to are listening. And we'll follow up. We'll do our best. Sure. All right, next.
Landwood Shirley.
Mr. Shirley. I tell you what, as we continue, will you tell us where your property is, just to help us maybe understand? Just an address of where your property is.
Saying up there, where's, you know, where it's located?
I tell you what, where's your property located? Yes, sir.
I got you.
Well, so that we know.
Aaron Wilder, one Wilder,
Okay, and Mr. Jones is on the dirt road?
Right there on, once you turn right there by Herschel, turn right there.
Okay, I got you.
Nothing like living in a small community right there at Herschel's house. I love that. That's awesome. And the Jones live on the pond, sort of in the back of Capo and Manor. Beautiful place. Not sure it's quite that beautiful, but it's a beautiful place. Sweet family. So, thank you. Yes, sir. Tell us where you live.
Linwood Shirley is my name. Some of you know me. I stay on Highway 210, just half a mile from, or 2 miles from Sims County, a mile from Cumberland County. I got 3 little pieces of property up there, and all of them, and I didn't make the last meeting, and I hear what's being said here. A lot of them is, mine doubled, seemed like almost tripled on one of them. But you can't do nothing from a desktop. That computer's only as good as the man using it.
Is home or raw land?
Well, one of them's a 1 acre tract that used to have a mobile home on it, ain't had one in years. And it went, the value on it went from last year from 11,000 to over 23,000. An acre in Bladen County worth 23,000, in my opinion. But, and then there's 2 acres behind my house that went from a value of 4,800 to almost 18,000. My house went up from, it went up 74,000 in the value. And the house in the 2 acres is bordered by a hog farm on both sides. So ain't nobody gonna wanna buy the 2 acres behind me. And it's all pasture anyhow. You know, so most, you know, I just, when the county water went through, we were told on my end, there wasn't enough interest in it. And we didn't get it, and we still have it. And I checked this week, there still ain't enough interest in the taxes going up either. So, I mean, if we can't get the county water, then why, you know, why we have to pay more taxes? 210 between Melvin Bridge Road and Green Sea Road. If you know where that's at.
Sure, absolutely.
Pretty out there, yeah.
But, and I would just encourage, you know, and I know on the top of your tax card, it said this is not a bill, and it's not. We're gonna keep working again to get those values where they need to be, to make sure they're fair, and to do all we can to lower the tax rate to help offset any increase in value that there is. There's obviously gonna be some, just because things are unfortunately going up. But there's more variables there than meets the eye sometimes.
We just ask that you, when you're thinking about all this, think of the elderly people, the disabled people, the single parents, and the veterans. And as a reverend made a comment one time, it's better to give than to receive. So maybe it's better for the county to give and let us receive.
Thank you for your honesty,
And if you do raise the taxes, let it get to be water for everybody, county water, no matter where they stay. If they pay county taxes, they deserve county water, if they want, and hire more deputies.
Right now, hold on a minute. Now,
Okay, I'll give you your chance, go ahead, you got 3 minutes.
so guess, 3 minutes, guess how we hire more deputies?
More money. I understand, I just say if you hire, if you raise them.
I had a lady stop me in the grocery store, she said, I want my taxes to go down, I want my son who works for the county to get a raise, and I said, ma'am, those are two hard things to do.
They are.
But I promise you, every year as we meet through budget, that's exactly what we try to do. How can we save money? How can we be frugal? How can we be good stewards? And that's our commitment to do. I can speak for Mr. Sam, Ms. Lisa back here. These are two of the tightest people you'll ever meet. They know how to squeeze a penny, and we're grateful for that. So, again, be patient. We're gonna keep working through that and do all we can.
Well, be patient, we'll probably be back.
Absolutely, and we want you to. We want you to. Yeah.
And we thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
And I mean it. All right, Ms. Marie. All right. Mr. Jones from the George Henry White Center. There he is. Welcome tonight, sir.
Ms. Marie's gonna borrow my time, how much? My time, I know it's gonna be 10 minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
First of all, I want to say good evening to you, and thank you for hearing on George Henry White Memorial Health and Education to come up for you and present what we feel is a opportunity to enhance the area of waste management as it relates to outside waste facilities. We've got a system at the George Henry White system we call it Eco-John system. And what it does is it incinerates waste. It's self-contained. The project that you may have in front of you has been approved in 40 states. Let's say that again. 40 states, including South Carolina, Virginia, and the United States government. They use these facilities, and the government are military base for Arctic, where it's very cold. Two or 3 years ago, we came with the government, one of our big sponsors, which is the Kansas, to help us purchase a unit here to bring to the site so that we could, one, allow more comfortability for visitors, and at the same time, bring this new technology to the rural areas, which is one of the goals of the Canada Foundation, to enhance the livelihood of the rural areas. What this does, though, is allow situations that happen where you do not have an issue, or where you do have an issue with septic tanks in certain areas, and I understand in many scenarios over in Bladen County. I know there's some over in Columbus County where septic tanks is a problem. In the area of Hallsburg, and they ran the county sewer and water lines out there because that was a problem, septic tanks. What this does is allow you to incinerate your waste in a nice, clean facility away from porta johns. I'm not kicking porta johns, but this allows you to have visitors that come into your complex and have a nice, comfortable place for a restaurant perspective. The issue that we have is, let me back up. This commitment that we have at the site right now is $69,000. But it's an investment in new technology, one, and investment of enhancing the living conditions in rural areas. So you got a comfortable, workable, waste system or restaurant facility. So the problem that we got is that for whatever reason, and I say that lightly, the state has not approved this technology.
Correct.
Given the fact, again, 40 states, including South Carolina, Virginia, has already approved it, the United States approved it. And what we're hearing from the state is because there are no language in their regulations to deal with incendiary or waste materials, that they've given us a problem, okay, in this system, so we can go ahead and crank it up and run it. Now, the company that designed this system is out of Tennessee, and it's been highly recommended in many areas to alleviate the situation with septic tanks.
Let me ask you a question, just to expedite things. So, in preparation for tonight's meeting, we did a little bit of homework.
Okay.
And so, obviously, I'm not a septic tank man, but basically, what you all are proposing is considered a non-conforming system, which we don't have any jurisdiction over out of state, regulation. So what can we do as a board of commissioners, other than send a letter with a letter you might have to ask the state legislature to consider something like this? We'll help you, but there's nothing that, we don't have jurisdiction to overturn a state, building code.
Yes, that's why we come before you to ask for that support.
Right.
We've already presented that whole process to the, for instance, Columbus County Commissioners, and they have wholeheartedly, there's a letter that's been written by Mr. Byrd that says the Columbus County Commissioners 100% behind this project. And we're looking for the same thing for this project, because it's going to benefit all of the rural areas of Bladen and Columbus County.
All right. And we've got a copy of that in your packet, along with the packet about the center. Yes, sir.
Motion, like a recommendation letter to the state.
We have a motion or a second. Any other discussion or questions?
Can I say one more thing? Is that, first of all, thank you for doing that. It's highly appreciative, because we're striving to bring this new innovation to the rural areas because it's needed. And I'm not kicking a porta john, but this is a long way from a porta john. If you look at it, it's like a mile or two away from a porta john. And people that have issues with going to porta john, I do, I know some women do. This is very, very nice. And I have a miss here with me, Mr. Elvis Matthew. He was the electrical contractor that did all the renovation of Georgetown White Center. This is a 119-year-old facility. He brought up today's standard and got approval across the board. So he's licensed in 5 states, including North Carolina. And what he says, in his investigation, it meets all of the codes. From emission, there's no emissions. The only way you can damage the environment is through the ground or through the air, and it does not do either one of those.
Well, sounds good. Any other questions, concerns? All in favor of approving the recommendation to support this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Keep in touch. Let us know.
Thank you.
Matters of interest to commissioners. We want to move forward with considering adopting a resolution in support of a memorial designation of a portion of NC West in honor of Jimmy, Mr. Pete Batt.
Motion to approve the second letter.
All right. The motion to approve support of the letter, and we have a second, Dr. Ellis. Any questions? I'm gonna ask all the Batten family that's here tonight that can stand, because you guys have come to recognize you tonight. Miss Bandy, hanging in there, and that cast off before long. So, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. I bless y'all. Mr. Pete, loved him, thankful for him, and any way that any of us can help you ever, we won't forget him, we won't forget y'all. Okay?
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Absolutely. God bless you. Got a brief video, didn't come tonight to watch TV, but this is a good informative video, it's about 2 minutes. everyone. Thank you for joining us for the NC County. We're grateful that you took time to be a part of such.
Conversation for our communities. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the NC County's Care Forum on Rural Health Care on March the 27th. We are grateful that you took the time to be a part of such an important conversation for our communities. Throughout the afternoon, we heard valuable insights from North Carolina healthcare leaders from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, ECU Health, representatives from a local health department, as well as our partner from Carolina Demography, Dr. Nathan Dollar. Together, these voices helped highlight both the challenges and the opportunities facing rural health care in our state. Whether during the panel or small group discussions, the attendees' perspectives and experiences are what make these forums meaningful and impactful. This kind of engagement is how we move ideas into action. We hope you'll continue the conversation with us at the next forum in this presidential series on May the 20th in Beaufort County. There, we'll take a closer look at healthcare in jails, another critical issue affecting counties across North Carolina. Be on the lookout for the registration information. Now, I want to mention something very important to all commissioners across the state. I highly encourage you to stay engaged on key policy discussions happening at the General Assembly, especially the House and Senate committees on property tax. These conversations will have significant impacts for our counties as well as the people that we serve. So please plan to join us in the state capitol for County Advocacy Days on June the 9th and 10th, an important opportunity for us to connect directly with our legislators and ensure that county voices are heard. Thank you again for your leadership, your collaboration, and your commitment to strengthening the health of our communities. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
And we are keeping in contact with our state legislators and letting them know of our concerns of overreach and also our desire to work together to so that we're not back here every 2 or 3 years. All right. Any other matters of interest to commissioners? Yes, sir. Mr. Tripp.
I'd make a comment. One of the gentlemen that spoke earlier, as it was said, all of us up here, some of ours went up just like yours. Some of us went up probably way more than some of yours did. So we do hear you when it comes to that. But one of the concerns I have for our county, we don't expect any one person to do the paying either. But 2 of our neighboring counties are totally bursting financially. And we don't want to go that direction. We went in our fund balance last year, and that's not a good thing. But we feel for you. We hear you. In relationship to what he mentioned about water, during COVID, to run water 1 mile, it was $600,000. Now it's probably, I think, $450,000, $450,000. And would we love to have water all over the county? Yes. But somebody needs to gift us a few $1 billion. But we go at it at a pace that we can. We can get grants and what have you. So all of y'all and us don't have to pay for it all at one time. But yes, most of us voted for county water when that came years ago. But you can't do it all at one time because we don't have that bucket of money and no means to get it. I just thought I'd mention it to you. But we fight for you. We hear you. And most of the time we'd like to go out there and sit with y'all and look at this wall back here because we're with y'all. We understand your situation. That's Lemon, yeah.
May I speak again?
I think so, since he referenced, he recognized the concern that you
With the
had.
water condition issue, with all the PFAS and everything else that's in the ground now, it should be a major issue.
It is a major issue.
Believe me. We had a meeting this morning, working on trying to get some funds. Our hope is that we can do what Mr. Britt was talking about without it costing the taxpayers. There are monies out there available for infrastructure. We have a big county, and you don't just to, without belaboring the point, we do have places in the county that are very sparsely populated, but they do have county water, and we've learned it doesn't work well. there's not enough customers on the line, and basically go to the end of the line and just keep blowing water out of a fire hydrant, hoping people's water stay clean, and it is an everyday battle. So, it's more complicated, unfortunately, than just running a water line and turning a spigot. And so we're working on that. We're working on getting all the money we can.
You wouldn't have to worry about that, because there ain't no fire hydrants up there either.
All right.
One more small thing, Peanut Plant Road sign gone again, out here at my house. I didn't know if we let King Carter know or
Yes, sir.
whoever.
Peanut Plant Road sign is gone. Quit taking the Peanut Plant Road sign, y'all.
Get gone about it.
So Benny Lennon is not able to be here tonight.
Audra Pierce got something.
Okay.
I don't personal.
I'm sorry.
I just want to publicly say
Yes.
that, on behalf of the Munn family, I want to say to each of you, thank you for your calls, your prayers, texts, different things that you've done, not just you, Commissioner, but for Bladen County. I was amazed at the number of people from Bladenburg, Harville, other places that reached out, tell their caucus, everyone, even Carson. And it was amazing for us to lose my brother. And I know we have to stand on faith, and that's what we do. And during that time, I like to say, Victoria here, whether you're in church and the community were awesome. And I told Mr. Peterson the same thing. I thank him for the donation and our funds to have. I can't tell you how humble we are to find humble for the love, the care, children. So I say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I say to anyone in Bladen County, if you need my help, I've always been there for you, but more so today because I know how much love you show my family, and I thank you.
Thank you. We'll continue to lift you up in prayer. Thankful for the way we're able to work together. It's not like that everywhere if you watch the news. But
Chairman, this, order, this COVID enrollment sitting in our desk, we need to get this out to everybody. We're part of the last thing we needed. Yeah. So, how you gonna do it, or how you gonna manage that, it needs to go out.
And we're working through some things. We've been meeting and talking about trying to come into the 21st century with social media and things, that how people get messages these days. We still do have a Bladen Journal, as you mentioned last time. It comes out once a week and not usually reports things that have already happened. So we need more than just that. And thank you. And Mr. Cream, if you'll take that and run with it, help us. Thank you, Dr. Burns-Goins. Anything else from the commissioners? All right, so Benny Lennon's not able to be here, so usually he's just here for a second. I'm good with moving forward with the recommendation to approve the capital outlay, or if you feel like he needs to be here, we can table this to the next meeting.
Motion to approve, second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes, sir, go ahead.
So there, on this list here, there's probably, I'm just guessing, 20+ items that I think if they go through Duke and Polk County, they get rebates for. If I don't know if they know that or not, but someone needs to share that with them. And Megan Foss Skipper is the contact for Duke. I don't know who the contact would be for Polk County. But I know they worked through the county with some of that, rebates last year. And they got bars and everything else on there, so that's what I was gonna share with you.
I know we talked to him about that before, if they're on top of it. All right, motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor of approving the capital outlay request, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. We'll make sure that any of these folks get that for rebates. Right, I mean, on the whole, they are pro tem, town meeting start.
Good evening. Thank you for welcoming me. I was told to keep this short, so I'm trying to make it short and sweet. I have a PowerPoint presentation to give to county commissioners tonight, and what it is, the East Arcadia is a timeline for the park development. A special grant was signed on November 6, 2023, which appropriated $100,000 from Bladen County Commissioners for Parks and Recreation for the restrooms and a concession stand. East Arcadia is currently now applying for a part grant, which is, on the slide, it will say May 2nd, but it's actually May 1st that it's due. We conducted a survey in February and March, and we're requesting a resolution in support of the project. How the survey was given out. It opened on February 13th and closed on March 15th. 238 notices were sent in utility bills to each household in February and March. 77 hard copies were returned. Of those 77, am I going too fast? Okay. Of those 77, 92% of the people said that a park would improve their quality of life. 60% of those that were surveyed said that they visit the parks daily, weekly, or monthly. The top things that the residents wanted was playground, concession stands, and restrooms. The reason that they don't come to the park, limited of what we have at the parks, limitations on what we have at the parks for conditions and safety. East Arcadia is requesting a resolution for support. The part of grant is a 1-to-1 match, so we would be able to take the $100,000 that y'all awarded, along with the $40,000 that the town was gonna give, and the $140,000 with a 1-to-1 match through part of, and it would be $280,000, sorry about that. Application will include playgrounds, restrooms, concession stands, and a pavilion. To be part of the part of grant, we had to add to the concession stand and the restroom because they have passive and active. So we're adding some playground equipment as well as a pavilion. Thank you, and any questions?
All right, that's made, motion by Mr. Britt.
Second.
Second, okay, you got a question? Yes, sir.
I have something I'd like to say.
Sure thing.
As a commissioner, I am pleased to express my support of East Arcadia requesting $100,000 in financial assistance from the county to renovate and upgrade the park, facilities, including the playground, restrooms, concession stand, and pavilion. Yeah, I agree with that. These improvements are more than just upgrades. They are an investment in our people and in the future of our community. Families of this county will rely on these spaces for recreation, fellowship, and community events. By enhancing the safety, accessibility, and overall condition of these facilities, we are helping ensure that they remain welcoming and enjoyable for the residents of that area. While this project is located in East Arcadia, its impact reaches far beyond the city limits. County residents will utilize these facilities, and the improvements will support increased usage, community pride, and opportunities for local gatherings and events. Working together as partners, Bladen County and East Arcadia can make meaningful progress in strengthening our shared resources. Supporting this $100,000 request reflects a great commitment on us. I respectfully encourage all of us, as has been said before already, to vote to approve this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I believe we approved that already.
Yeah, I was gonna, just so everybody's clear, this is ARPA money that was already approved, we're just changing the purpose, it's expanding its purpose a little bit more, so there's not,
Yes.
a new $100,000 or an additional $100,000. This is just a repurpose of the ARPA money that's still sitting there waiting on you to use.
Did you have time to get up with the recreation?
I did not have time today because we had Blue Monday, and if y'all smell fish, it's because we've been frying shad all day.
That was nice.
And I'm not as well dressed as Mr. Deacon Dennis Troy would teach me to be, but I didn't have time to go home and put on my Sunday's best. I would put it on for you.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second, we've had some discussion. All those in favor of the repurposing of this $100,000 ARPA money, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign.
Thank y'all so much.
Ma'am. Trin Lowry, Executive Director of the Lumberton Housing Authority.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you. Just real quickly, I used to work with Lumber River Council of Governments. That's how I became involved in these grant programs. And when I was hired by the Lumberton Housing Authority, the COG decided not to continue with these. So I've just been contracting out with that 5-county region, with the exception of Richmond County, to operate this program ever since. So that's how I got here tonight.
but the county has applied for and has been selected to receive the FY 2024 Central Single Family Rehab Program. That information has been sent forth. The letter's been received by the county. I've given that letter to Lisa. And at this time, we've got to do our post-approval documents. And there's two things that they do require that the board approve. One is the assistance policy, which breaks down everything that the program does from beginning to end, and also the disbursement and procurement policy. So I'm here tonight to ask you to approve those policies and see if there's any questions you would like for me to answer.
Motion to approve. Second. We approve both of them together?
Yes.
Good enough. We have a motion to approve both. Do you have a second for discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign.
And the final thing I'll say, it's only going to cost the county $2,000. Normally it's a lot more, but that lady in the corner over there does drive a whole bargain.
I told my youngest, don't ever put the word only in front of any amount of money. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Till he's been to these meetings before, buddy. All right, folks, we only have two major issues to deal with, so we're going to deal with tax administration, Ms. Renee. But I would ask you, if this is the purpose of you being here, don't just make a massive evacuation, because we just have one other issue. We should be wrapping things up fairly quickly after that. So just in respect of those that are here for the next issue. All right, Ms. Renee?
Good evening. I'm here tonight to see if we could consider scheduling possible meeting dates for the Board of Equalization and Review. And I had two dates on that for, Monday, May the 4th at 5:30. That would be to convene, and that would be where you would do your oath. And on Monday, May the 18th at 5 p.m. for the adjournment. Monday, May the 18th. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. 4:10 for commissioner meeting.
It is.
Yes, it is.
So, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if that's gonna be enough time. That's just my thought. And you do it before commissioner meeting, we gotta be, in fact, you got an hour and a half. So that's my concern.
Absolutely. So our options are move it earlier in that day or move it to a non-commissioner meeting day. I agree.
Okay.
Could we move it to 4 p.m. that day? Is that gonna
Yeah,
issue?
whatever you let me know, and I just have to put it in the paper.
Okay.
Then because
Would
the
that be sufficient?
Bladen Journal only does it one time a week, I have to do publish it.
So the meeting on the 4th would be brief, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we can keep that one at 5:30.
Okay.
It's gonna be brief. The meeting on the 18th, if we move it to 4 p.m.,
Okay, so adjournment is, only so we don't hear no more appeals. However, whatever appeals that are being done until that date, you can make another meeting
yeah.
after that date.
So, Mr. Chairman, it's important, whenever we schedule this meeting, that all commissioners attend. Because you can't come in here and be sworn in to E&R and miss that first half of the meeting and then be part of the E&R. So, I mean, we need to consider whatever dates we do, that everybody's gonna be here.
Yeah.
And whatever time it is, everybody's gonna be here. Because it's.
Absolutely. So 4 p.m., and again, between the 4th and the 18th, it may be, depending on where the appeals are.
So you're saying the 4th is 5:30,
Correct, and that'll be brief.
and the
then
18th is at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. And after the 4th, we'll know more if there needs to be something in between.
No, receiving information prior. Do you need a motion for that?
We do.
I make a motion that we,
Edward Pierce.
4 o'clock on the 18th.
4 o'clock on the
May the
18th.
4th at 5:30, May the 18th at 4 p.m.
I make a motion that for the approval of these dates, May 4th at 5:30, May 18th at 4 o'clock.
Second.
Sure.
So, should have said it before we made the motion, but I have another concern about, I don't know how this appeal's process is gonna work out, or how many people's gonna appeal it to DNR. But at some point, we got to be through these DNR so we can do a budget before June 1st.
You're right.
Absolutely.
So,
And that is one of the, things that we picked for May the 18th, because that's the next one.
I don't have to do everything in 2 hours, is what I'm saying, and be ready for a budget, and we might not even need 2 hours. But I think we need to be planning ahead for plenty of time.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
Getting the percentage of what the field process is gonna be ain't gonna help us with a budget.
How about that morning? How about meeting twice that day? Is that not possible?
But I'm good where I'm going to, I'm just saying.
Well, we still got 2 weeks after that, I mean, we still got some time. We've got-
So if I do.
I mean, if,
I'm sorry. So if you meet on May the 4th and I give you an update on where we're at
Yeah.
and how many,
Yep.
because we will be able to,
right,
yeah, we can actually do another meeting after the adjournment, because as long as they have appealed by May the 18th, then we can still hear them. You were going to
Those
do that?
presentations, do they have a time limit also that day?
That again?
Will they have a time limit also that day on the presentations, you know, when they come forward with their information and whatnot? I mean, I'm saying historically speaking.
No.
Because I know some of them in the past, they just kind of.
We usually get, usually if they speak, you have 10, not more than 10 minutes usually when we do our, scheduling.
and just be aware, on that 18th, if we're not able to get, we'll have to extend it, possibly just meet the 19th, so we're not extending it any further closer to the end of the month.
Can I get clarification though? So that's on the ones that, when they go to you for the fuel and it's not approved, then they can come to. Am I correct?
You talking about the meeting here?
appeal.
So you do informals, that's what we're doing right now. But anybody can appeal up to the adjournment. Okay? So, that's just May the 18th will be the last day.
Do we have any numbers now?
So I know I have went through over 700.
Right.
Okay.
How many?
And, based on in my office, probably just as much as I have went through. 2022, we had 1,380 altogether. 10 went to the board of the NR. Okay.
What if we added a third day, do the May the 4th, May the 11th, May the 18th? Is there any reason anybody couldn't be here on the 11th? Let's get 3 Mondays in a row. Okay. Scratch the 11th.
Well, so that
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
one of my concerns is we need it as soon as we can, and we need a thorough job for the folks as well as for us, because we got to look at revenue neutral to work to do the budget. And we want to lower the tax rate as low as we can for the citizens. So you got that fine line, like Mr. Peterson was saying there. We need as quick as we can, so we can continue the budget process, so we can know, we work the budget based on the revenue coming in. And we're not gonna know that until we get.
How does May the 6th look on everybody's calendar? It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday.
If we met May the 6th, 2 p.m., that'll give us 3 meetings instead of 2. And that might mean the 18th meeting's not a long meeting, it might be. Would that satisfy everybody's concerns? 5:30 on the 4th, 2 p.m. on the 6th?
But I'll be here.
And then the 18th, 4 p.m.
You want me to amend the motion?
Wednesday is the day.
Tuesday for him or Tuesday?
So we gotta go to Bible class. All right, Scott, back up, y'all. Morning, noon, night.
Morning, especially in the evening, later. Get off work.
Okay. Tuesday, or is that a?
You mean the fifth or the 12th?
Sixth.
May
Fifth.
May fifth. Tuesday.
5 p.m., May the 5th, Tuesday.
I got a meeting in Lumberton at 3:00 on the 5th.
Probably just come and stay all day on the 18th. Seriously, I'm not joking. Just come that morning.
That won't last but about an hour.
Well,
That's right, you
same with
might
them.
It should, they don't last but an hour.
Okay, May the fifth, Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, 5 o'clock. All right, Mr. Arthur, if you would make that in form of an amended motion, the 4th at 5:30, the 5th at 5, and the 18th at 4.
Okay, to amend the motion, I make a motion that we meet on May 4th at 5:30, May 6th at 5 o'clock, May 18th at 4 p.m. Correction, May 5th at 5.
We have a second.
I think we know what we got. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sure you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I need an update regarding the countywide reappraisal project.
And I'm gonna ask Tyner Appraisal if they will come up here. Mr. Gary and Mr. Powell.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Gary Piner, Piner Appraisal, Mr. Paul Christensen, one of our best, has been the, project manager here for this job. We'd like to first say that we've been doing work down here with you guys in Bladen for the last 10 years. We value our relationship with you and the taxpayers in the county. Good people in Bladen County. I've developed a lot of good relationships over the years, and we value that. All that being said, of course, the notices have been out for, I believe today's 30 days. So we've been working on the appeals, and as Renee said, she currently has 700 in the worksheet that we're using to go by. We have actually worked about 300 of the appeals already, and we've been trying to reach out to the taxpayers on the ones that we have. We have a team in Morehead City working on this in our office there. We're working on the appeals and trying to call the appellates, taxpayers, and let them know what we've been able to do, just to inform them. And if they're not happy with that, we're certainly doing everything we can to work the appeals in their favor as much as possible. But we have to be fair and equitable to the other taxpayers as well, and so we're trying to do our best in that environment. We've been able to make a good number of adjustments. In a lot of cases, the taxpayers have provided us with good information that we would not have otherwise known, which in turn gave us flexibility to make adjustments on their values. As to the real estate market down here, after we completed the 2022 revaluation, that's when everything went crazy in the market. And not just here, but all over. As you stated earlier, Mr. Chairman, we've done various revaluations over the past 4 years, and it's been the same case in all of those pretty much, just tremendous increases due to numerous factors. But the markets have just gone crazy, as we all know. And State Department of Revenue mandates that we value according to the market. And so we have to value accordingly in the sales. We can't just go chase sales, though, and hit the sales, and so our ratio numbers will be good for the reval, because after the reval, if we do that and don't value everything accordingly, then sales after the reval goes into effect are going to make the numbers here tank. Like you mentioned earlier, the numbers are going to go down below that 87 and on down, and that's going to prompt another short revaluation, and I know nobody wants that. So we're doing the best that we can to handle the appeals and work with the taxpayers, but the percentage increase here is in line with other counties that we've seen over the past years, past 4 years. So anyway, like I said, everything happened after the 22 revaluation, unfortunately. And so we are where we are now, but we're trying to work with all the appellants to do the best we can. Paul?
I carry my box with me. You've seen my box.
30 or 40 pound box of sales.
And what I did when I first got here is I started from January 1st, 2022, and looked at sales for the next 4 years, pretty much till the end of December this year, even after the schedule of values had been met. and approved. During that time, there was about 1,408 sales, residential sales. That's what I do. There have been 58 sales in the last 90 days in this county, so sales haven't stopped. Right now, there are 139 listings. I just randomly picked some sales that have happened in the last 90 days and some listings, current listings to look at today. And they haven't gone down. The sales haven't gone down, and the listings haven't gone down.
We should have looked at this.
Excuse me?
We should have looked at this.
Yeah, but
We're in a county where some people are granted.
yeah, and so
And Lee, if you look at the listing, make sure you look down their days on market.
yeah, I
Some of them
I
are-
get it. Well, that's why I looked at how many have closed in the last 90 days. So what this basically is, and not only this county, I've been in Martin County, I've been in Wilson County, I've been in Craven County. And Martin County is very similar to this county, geographically, economically, and they went up about the same as you did. And they had about the same amount of appeals as I expect for this county. The situation is that the supply is very limited, and there's been a lot of people move to North Carolina. One year, there was 395,000 people move here. They're still coming. And that's the ones we know about.
They're not coming here. I think that's our.
Well, they're moving from, it's a migration. The ones that sold their properties in Wake and Cary, they moved to Wilson. The ones that sold their property in Wilson moved over to Martin County. The ones that sold their property in Fayetteville are moving close by. People have come and visited White Lake and other areas, here for years. When they decided to leave Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, they just put that money in their pocket, what they sold, and come down here and pay cash. They're not worried about interest rates. So you have an influx of people here that are coming. But,
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but
okay.
I've already been through this. But I would agree if we were living in some of these other counties. But we're just not seeing, our numbers are just not there. We're not seeing, our schools are not, growing. They're declining as far as the number of kids in schools. We're hoping for that. Not a show back from Pennsylvania, but or wherever, but just people from different places. But, and we've already met. Now, these guys drove, Thursday, 2 weeks ago, and came and spent some time with Sam and myself, and I appreciate that more than they know. And I processed that, and I'm at a loss, because most counties in the state of North Carolina are going through this, and we would not argue with that. But we're just not. We're not. Yes, sir.
So the way, I don't disagree with nothing you're saying.
Okay.
The way I look at it is, that house that you're looking at how much it costs, the house has been inspected by a professional. Every remodel, deep remodel, it's been fixed. That house is ready to go. It's like a new car. These houses in Bladen County, a lot of them are not ready to go.
Sure.
And that's the problem. I know, nothing wrong with what you're doing. I understand that full of you. I'm just saying, the real world in Bladen County is, a lot of these people in Bladen County don't have these ready-to-go sale houses, which is the market value versus the fair value. The thing that I'm most concerned about, I'm concerned about everything, but I'm concerned about the elderly and the uneducated. If they're gonna be able to appeal theirs, or how they're gonna be able to afford it. I don't wanna take nobody's property because they can't pay property taxes, and that's the situation we're in, and it's not your fault, and it's not our fault, it's the real world.
I agree with you.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're not here tonight to beat you guys up just because we've got beaten up with what y'all do.
And I feel for everybody again, because I think all of us, my store just about doubled, my warehouse, and my house went up again, and it went up about 150 or 200 the last time. And I'm in the country on a gravel road, FHA house built onto. But it is what it is. But one point I think you missed, though, that he said, 59 has sold. So they are coming. We had a lady in my store Saturday. Now, I don't understand people now, folks. I know 3 people in a row moved out of Wilmington to Bladen County and drive back and forth to Wilmington to work. This lady and her husband bought on Chicken Foot Road. She works in Wilmington, he's an engineer at Southport at the power plant, and travel every day. So they do want to come to Bladen County, so we don't misunderstand that. They are coming. And I'm sure they didn't buy a shoebox on Chicken Foot Road either. With the jobs they got, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. But, people are coming to Bladen County because they like the rural area and they want to get out of these towns.
Sure, that's right.
We just don't have the infrastructure, just like Mr. Sherwood said back there, the water and the sewer. And you got to have all that to build and to have more houses to reduce all of us a burden with more money coming from more taxes on other houses.
Absolutely.
But there again, I'd like to drop everybody's 90%, mine be first.
Sure, absolutely.
Question, Martin County, that's, Little Washington or Williamston? Williamston.
Yeah.
I was trying to wrap my head around where y'all are.
And it's very similar, a lot rural county, very
Lot of
similar,
peanuts.
but they don't have White Lake.
Yeah, they don't even have White Lake there, so.
So, me, as a commissioner, what my plans are, is this budget time, gonna be a lot of people mad at me. I'm cutting this budget, whether I get 4 more votes or just 1 vote, I'm cutting this budget. I'm not spending no more than we have to spend because of the elderly population and because of, it's just not fair. Revenue neutral, you can believe what you want to, is not gonna take care of this appraisal. And this appraisal is gonna be higher than normal because the fact is, that's what it's valued at in the real world.
Yes, sir.
So what I gotta do, I'm only speaking for myself, what I gotta do as commissioner, I'm gonna look at this budget, like it's my budget of the house. I'm not voting for none of this frivolous spending and this new positions and things like that no more. We're losing population and growing employees. And I promise you right now, I'll go on record to tell you, that's what I'm gonna do when we can start working that budget process. Because that's the honest way we're gonna fix this problem.
Sorry, I started to.
No, that's fine. I'm a taxpayer.
Hey, you know what he did? They tried to up his tax value, and he was on the roof cleaning out his gutters, and he looked down at the guy from the appraisal company and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm here to inspect your house." He said, "Are you at the reval?" And he went and appealed his value.
Well, and it
And they lowered his value.
well, it was funny. I met the guy, but, real fast. Mine went from 189 to 420.
You
And,
inspected?
but I know my house. And, you know, so anyway, yeah, I peeled it and, but it took me 6 hours to get my pictures together, to get my information together, to get my sales together. And I know what I'm doing.
What county are you in?
Carteret.
Yeah,
And,
that's where we're from, yeah.
and so.
Mine went up 5 times.
It's like Brunswick County, I mean, I get
Yeah,
all that.
so when it was all said and done, here's the bottom line of it. When it was all said and done, mine ended up going up $120,000. When the tax bill came out, my tax bill only increased $183. That's doable,
No, we don't use the word only in front of any.
you know, but for me, I felt that was a reasonable, no amount of taxes going up to me is reasonable, but compared to, what it could have been, it was reasonable. So I get it, I
Now,
see
we're
it.
taxpayers too,
Yeah.
as he's illustrating, I mean, we
They don't get a
understand.
cut out of how much come, nor do.
No, I don't, I don't get paid extra for making them higher.
No, certainly
I
not.
sure don't, but.
That was not our wish, but in the end, it was our duty to value according to the market, the sales.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when evaluations were done by agencies and firms, were they done the same way then as far as what you're seeing, fair market value or market value, or was it done basically that the tax value that would be given to that tax property owner, would it be a percentage of what that home could sell for? It was never done that way? I mean,
Not my memory. I've been in business since 1985, and we all had to value according to the market.
Most people did, most people have always thought my tax value would be a good business.
And that's a misnomer. It may be lower at some point during the cycle, but when it goes into effect, it should be fair market value.
the difference between today and 30, 40 years ago, that computer's out there.
Well,
And it can be tracked.
That's good and bad, I know.
Right, I
Yeah.
think eighties and nineties or seventies, I think it used to be, it was a general percentile of what you could sell that property for. And it wouldn't be greater. And see, the problem is, what we hear from a lot of these folks is, good Lord, it's more than I would even, I'd take less for my house. And so that is surprising to me to hear that, people say that. And I know I had a couple calls from Live Oak people that that is a little unusual.
Yeah.
But,
I just want to ask you, you said you worked, 300 of the appeals?
Yes, sir.
What percent of those that you worked are in favor of the citizen?
Well, that's kind of a relative way of looking. I mean, I can't really say. We've made adjustments on a good number of them. I'll say that.
You don't have
And different adjustments. Every property is different. It is. And that's what's so difficult in doing mass appraisal. We have a number of fee appraisers in our company, and they'll everyone tell you, fee appraisal is so much easier than mass appraisal. Fee appraisal, you have one subject. Mass appraisal, you have a whole neighborhood, and you're trying to do your best to value fair and equitable in that neighborhood. And it's tough, it is, but that's what we do. And we do the best that we can to be fair and equitable according to the sales.
And that North Carolina rebuild that we did here in the county, that kind of really hurt the citizens, didn't it? As far as their property value.
Yes, sir. It's been a crazy market. And once again, the North Carolina State Department of Revenue mandates when you do a revaluation, fair market value for the properties.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
How, if you number of homes that sold in the area, how many miles out did you go?
Defining neighborhood is there's no certain area. You have to look at the properties in this neighborhood are similar. So you define a neighborhood that way.
So you think another county? Or you-
No, there's 114 neighborhoods in Bladen County.
Okay.
So they're all different little areas. There may be 6 or 8 or 10 neighborhoods in Elizabethtown.
Right.
Out in the rural area, there may be 2.
Right. But of that two, would it be, East Arcade, would you, East Arcade, College Creek or Kelly, or did you go to Columbus County line? You stay within Blaine County?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And I use my favorite tool is a thing that shows on the map every sale you can put in the county, and it shows every sale you can do by 90 days, a year, 2 years, 3 years, forever. And when you turn that map on, it lights up with all the sales. You can turn that off, and it'll light up with all the pending sales. And you can turn that off, and it'll have all the listings on there for the whole county. And you can, if I have a property appeal, which got plenty now, but I can zoom into that area, and I can go back a year for sales or 2 years, which is generally it. And I can do the listings also to see what's going on in that neighborhood. But you can zero into that neighborhood on that map and see what's going on.
But I'm thinking about the outlying areas. Do you bring them in? If you were, let's say if you were in White Oak, would you bring all into Elizabethtown?
No, if I'm doing Elizabethtown, I'm not gonna compare to East Arcadia.
White Oak.
Yeah, we're not comparing. You try and compare. Now, you may compare rural towns,
Okay.
rural areas, White Oak to Kelly or something like that, like that, see what's sold out there. But you wouldn't come to Elizabethtown and compare it, somewhere out there. Yeah. That's what that box is about.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, it's probably an unfair question, but do y'all feel like with where things are going at this point that we'll be safe, with the values that the state's gonna be looking at, so we don't have to do this again? And
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we feel confident. Our ratio numbers look good.
Yeah.
Our assessments are in line with sales.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And again, every property is its own entity, and so we try to look at them as best we can to treat them that way. This house is in different condition than the one next door to it. So we try to recognize that as best we can. And if there's issues within the house, it's in bad shape inside, we don't have any way of knowing that, because we don't, even if we visit the property, we don't go inside the house. But again, the taxpayers in a lot of cases have made us aware of that, and we've acted accordingly.
I know 4 years ago, we talked about flood zone, so I'm not for rehash that. You said really it was still based on the sales. But what if you do go to a house though and the roof is in bad shape? Do y'all account for that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely. We're happy to do so.
yeah. Yeah.
My house, and I get ready to have to replace my roof.
And just for the folks that are here tonight, just please be assured there is nothing, nefarious, nothing crooked, nothing, there's no pet projects, there's nothing. I mean, we would love to see this level out and everybody be as happy as they can be. There's, you know, we're gonna do our best to make sure that things, you guys are doing everything you know to do.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, but probably better than being in our shoes right now.
I just want to NC rebuild will not sell, so how do you include, why would you include
The what now?
those new homes? They will not sell, so you include them in evaluation?
If they aren't sales, but their cost might have gone up because the cost to build the house
That's right.
is what increased them.
Because, see, we do the cost approach for residential. So we have to define what the base square foot rate is. Just to give you an overview, and we went over this with Reverend Cam a couple of weeks ago. We have to devise a square foot rate. We have a grading system. A, top of the line, E, bottom of the line. C is your average house. You can plus or minus in each one of those letter grades. What we have to do is define what does it cost per square foot to build that C grade house, that average house. And everything else plays off of that. The B house, the A house, the square foot rate escalates up for those. D and E, it goes down from that base rate for a C grade house. So yes, ma'am, the cost approach is what we do. Less depreciation for age and condition. So a new house would have, 1% depreciation, whereas a 1970 house may have 40% depreciation. But you start with that replacement cost new, and then you use the depreciation to subtract off of that. Now, I don't mean to confuse the issue.
But you say replacement. Replacement cost is one thing. I can tell my insurance company, if I had to buy another house, build another house, it won't be as big. I would
Yes,
bring
ma'am.
it down
Sure.
to the half the size.
Understand.
Because you don't need it. You have no children, so why would you increase my valuation based on that? Based on replacement cost?
Because that's the way we have to value the property. Replacement cost, what does it cost to build that house today? That's what we have to do. And then the depreciation kicks in and knocks that down, the value of it.
All right, thank you. I think we've pretty much
Okay.
exhausted, and we, there's,
I
yes,
didn't know
sir.
that, though.
So, if we could, before we leave here, can we, Mr. John, want us to put a drop dead date on these appeals? Can we do that?
Yeah.
And make sure it's in the minutes, like, yes?
Yes.
So, I would just say, May the 15th. What y'all think?
Well, we need to
Gotta
probably
be
before
done
May
fine.
the 5th. Well, 'cause that's
Our
our,
last day.
that's our big day.
Make it.
May 18th
is our last day.
Or 15th, it's the Friday.
Whatever.
Well, see, because that would only leave us right here to favor.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
taxpayers can actually appeal to the Board of E&R adjourned.
okay, so anytime before May the 18th.
Correct, and they can appeal, actually, they can walk in as you get ready to adjourn and appeal.
Okay, so we don't need, by statute, May the 18th is the drop dead deadline, I think as it was said, and that's already established. So make that in our records. May the 18th is when we adjourn, and you can come in anytime up into that day.
To file your appeal.
Yes. All right. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say one thing to you guys. If I got ready to sell my house, and this is positive for y'all, where am I going? What am I gonna have to pay?
Sure.
I don't wanna sell my house for what y'all got it for. Do I like it? No, but I'm gonna choose to stay where I'm at and just bite the bullet and go on.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of people really don't understand what their house is truly worth till they pick up that phone and try to go somewhere else. Because it is ridiculous what people are paying.
It really is.
And I see that and I hear it all the time, so, I choose to stay.
And we see it every day because we're analyzing the markets and we're going, why are people paying this? But they are.
All right, thank you all, and I know you're.
Thank you all.
We are too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate you so much. All right, James, next, come on up, Will. You've not had, hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to meet James Nance, the Director of our Board of Elections. Nice guy. Makes all of us feel old, don't it?
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I want to introduce somebody. This is my new Deputy Director, Ms. Samantha Regan, to the Board of Elections. So if y'all ever need anything when I'm out of the office or if I'm not available, y'all are more than welcome to reach her too.
Was there two of you there?
No, we got 3 full-time. We still, yeah.
Thank you. Welcome. We're glad to have you. Appreciate your heart.
Okay.
All right, bud. So, Chairman, tonight we're purposing, I've asked James to be here in person instead of us having a consent item. I think this is important. To consider approving a budget amendment amount of $28,543 plus an additional $894 filing fee. So, just want to share, and then Mr. Nance respond. It became obvious early in the primary season that there was a lot of early voting dates that were established. We don't have anything to do with that, but sites we do have. I reached out to Mr. Nance and said, by statute, what do we have to do? What do we have to provide? We don't want to limit anybody's ability to vote or anything like that in their community. And basically, one, no more than 2 early voting sites. We could get away with 1. It could be the Board of Elections. It could be somewhere in Elizabethtown. People come to the grocery store early, voting, go by and vote. I reached out to some of the Board of Elections members and didn't really get anywhere, so I asked to come and I spoke before the board. And it was at a point that it was not too late to say, whoa, we're going to have to reevaluate this. And I, as a concerned citizen, said, why in the world the amount of money that it's going to cost to do all of this early voting? I was running for re-election, my primary, so of course people probably thought there was some nefarious reasons. Again, there wasn't. It's just, Mr. Peterson said, we got to figure out a way to save some money. Penny saves, penny earns. So I asked, it kind of fell on deaf ears. Your board's not here, you are tonight. So this one's a tough one for me to make this budget amendment. So speak to it if you would, share what you think.
I mean, Mr. Chairman, all I can say is from my board, my board wanted 6 early voting sites. They heard from the state auditor's office. As y'all know, the state auditor's over the state board of elections in Raleigh. And the state auditor really wanted to make sure everybody had that right to vote. Nobody was equal. Nobody was, basically not nobody was, I don't want to say this word, not alienated. Yeah, basically that. And that's why they wanted 6 early voting sites. And it is tough when it makes the decision to make an early voting site. One has to be within a mile of the Board of Elections. So E-Town, the one for Elizabethtown, will never go away. And then the biggest decision is we're so geographically spread out. You have the people in East Arcadia. I mean, driving from Elizabethtown to East Arcadia is like 35 minutes. Sure. And and then you have people that work in Fayetteville that live on the county line right there past Tar Heel. And then you also have that argument of then you have all the people that live across the river. So it was that.
You have a bridge, they got to take the
boat. Right. But
you can vote in your community on election day.
Right, you still can.
The mindset of, well, if they don't, they just won't vote. Well, you can vote on election day. Anyway, go ahead.
But really, that was the toughest decision. I mean, the board, they wanted a list of sites that we've used in the past. I gave them a list of sites in the past, and I said, this is the requirements that are mandated by the state of days and hours. I said, but site-wise, it's up to us as a county how many sites we want. We could get away with just 1 site, but then you also have to remember we're so geographically spread out. We have to take in consideration where else do we want to put these extra sites at. The problem that we're also having in my office is that we don't have the poll workers like we used to. Every election, we have the toughest time to find poll workers to work. And that's the other thing is that we have to, I was very limited on how many people on poll workers on election day. Some sites had 3, some sites had 4, and I had some that had 5. So these decisions are, with my board, are very, difficult.
And I think we find out it's easier to spend other people's money. It's not your money to spend. Looking back at the numbers of some of the days, as I understand, the numbers of votes cast in some of those early voting sites are just tiny.
Right.
Is that correct?
That is correct. So
has the board reviewed that and said, maybe we don't need to do this next time?
Well, some of the board members have said in past meetings, like the day we certified the election, which was the canvass day on March 13th, some of them raised the question of we might need to bring it back down to 4 to 3 early voting sites.
I would encourage you to bring it down to whatever's in your budget.
Right. That's what yeah. So the early voting plans for the general election in November is going to be in July. So I'm already prepping myself to present to them that we might need to bring our number down.
There are places in the county that somebody could say, well, I was disenfranchised. I live at White Lake, I live at Kelly, I didn't have an early voting site. Well, except for this we do.
What?
$28,543.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If it costs $40 million, you gotta pay for the election. 15 years on the Board of Election.
What I'm saying though is by statute, they didn't have to have this many. Yes, I understand.
So, Mr. Nance, I know this is your first rodeo, and I am not picking on you, but I would like to see the percentage in each of these early voting things presented to commissioners. And I'm not trying to micromanage the Board of Elections, because I know that I can't do that. But I would ask Mr. Chairman and our county manager, if department heads don't have the money, don't spend the money and then bring a dang budget amendment up for me to approve. We don't have no choice but to approve. You already spent the money. But we need to, I'm not trying to micromanage you, but we need to make a decision. You heard these people in this room today about their taxes. Well, there's $30,000 that we could have saved.
I agree, and we got the numbers.
And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not micromanaging the Board of Election. I'm just telling you the true fact. And I appreciate what you're doing, and I know it's your first rodeo. And I'm not picking on you, trying to be harsh with you.
Right.
But that's my point of view from a commissioner.
Absolutely. Well, and like I said, I went before it was too late, because you could see this train wreck happen. I'm good enough at math, you knew it was gonna cost a lot more than what was budgeted. And I asked very respectfully, I was not, and I told them, I said, I'm not here to micromanage, I'm not here as, in my exact words, I'm not here as Commissioner McGill, I'm not here as candidate McGill, I'm here as citizen McGill. And I beg you to think about this. There's gotta be a way, and it just wasn't even considered.
And Mr. Chairman, to go ahead and say this, I've talked to other directors in other counties, like I'm good friends with the elections director in Moore County. She told me that her county has only a total of registered voters 80,000, and out of the whole entire county of Moore County, they only had 2 early voting sites.
Yeah.
So, and that was something.
Oh, yeah. It was beyond.
That would be that's the question, yeah. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
How much did we spend in this house? Both.
Almost $80-some thousand or more.
And that was the number I said that night.
And
I said, I'm afraid this is gonna cost the county $80,000. Please don't do that.
And the majority of it is going to precinct workers, because we have to have them. There
again, it defies logic. And again, we're not here to micromanage, but I want to be honest, and we knew this was gonna happen. We knew this was gonna happen. We knew this night was coming, and I begged them. I said, please do something, stop this.
Mr. Chairman, with a guilty conscience, I make a motion we approve this because the money's already spent.
Yeah. Second.
Yes, sir.
You brought up poll, how many poll workers are you supposed to have at each site? Is there a requirement?
By law, a minimum of 3. But we the state highly recommends we have more than 3, just in case if somebody calls out. Yeah. So by law, a minimum of 3.
What's the poll worker salary?
So early voting is $12.50 an hour, but they have a lump sum amount for election day. So like your chief judges make $250 for that day. Then your judges make probably $200, and I think if I remember correctly, assistants make $180 just for that day.
By the time they buy lunch and buy gas, they out of money. That shows just how many hours of early voting there was.
Now, can we get percentage of the voters that you actually worked, well, not worked, but voted on election day, percent per poll?
Yeah,
You got an email, but you might, they send us emails every week.
The only thing that you can control is this board, and I'm just speaking for my 15 years on it, what I had to deal with when I was on the board of elections. You could set a budget, but at the same time, you don't know how many runoffs you may have. You could have 4 or 5 in the year. A budget's a budget. But when it comes to the board of elections, sometimes
It'll cost more.
it don't hold a lot of weight. But you can, if your board, understands what we're trying to do as far as to save every dollar we can, as far as cutting the sites down. But all during the year though, you get things coming down from the state, as he well knows, they change. And that affects your budget, or it can't.
Well, this could have been stopped. And I just, again, I care for your people on your board. It's a small board. I appreciate them allowing me to speak that night. It's very, very frustrating to sit in this seat, knowing that literally, and I'm not gonna belabor this point. The reason I came to that meeting that night, and I told him, is because that day I walked into the tax office. There was a lady talking to Miss Renee, and she had an $800 bill, and she was in tears, and she said, "I have no idea how I'm gonna pay that." And I thought, she can't come up with $800 in this world, and yet $80,000 is gonna be spent on an election. Not a general election, not a presidential, a primary, all-season election. It just defies logic. So I'm gonna vote no, just to be honest, because I think somebody needs to, and nothing personal towards you or your board, but this could have been avoided. This is $28,000. It could have been used for something far more important. I agree with what Mr. Britt said. Sometimes things unexpected happen, runoffs. This wouldn't that. This, you could see it from a mile away coming. And I knew this night was coming, and I hate we're sitting here. Just, I paid taxes here, and I can't believe it'd take me nearly 30 years of county taxes on my house. Pay this bill. A county tax on my little bitty house, about $1,000, $1,200 a year. 30 years I have to live here to pay this bill.
Won't take that long for me.
Anyway.
Just don't let me know.
Yeah, you got things here. Anyway, it is what it is. We can talk about it all night. It ain't gonna change the matter. You fellas spent money that they shouldn't spend. Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, I'll say aye. Thank you for joining the water board. Feel like I've been water board. All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor to go in the water board, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. In your packet, you were provided with a few graphs and charts.
Too many, it's hard, a little bit hard to read. Everybody's got time to look at it.
First one indicates how many brown water calls have came in through the month since October and shows a significant decrease.
Okay, if April was on there, where would it be?
Well, there's only 6 days and we haven't received any calls at all into the
These
office.
folks got to start calling. They're calling us, and they're not calling y'all.
Right.
Tobermore. Yeah. Anyway. Where specifically?
Yeah, did you receive calls, Friday?
From the Tobermore
Thursday
area.
or Friday from the Tobermore area?
No.
Yeah, 'cause they were, I mean, they're kind of hitting me hard again in terms of, and, you know, what's happening is a lot of discussion, which, you know, obviously we're gonna happen, but we don't really want, is taking place among, you know, on Facebook. And it's basically a page, you know, Tobermory citizens, which I mean, I can share with you, but it's just another thing that you might could reach out to those folks. And I think Betty Jo that had come and spoken with us, you know, they were saying water just as orange as it can be tonight. What point do we start getting compensated for all the things that it's ruining? That kind of thing. They have to have, you know, more time to figure out what this issue is. You know, and again, somebody said, you know, for the water we're buying because no one wants to eat, drink, cook, or wash with nasty orange or yellow water, and that was Friday. So there's still some issues. Now, I'm going off what she sent me now. I mean, you know,
So we just need to figure out what's going on a little more.
if we could try to reach out to that group and just maybe even Betty Jo. I mean, she's a sweet lady. I know she appreciates all of y'all's work. I mean, hands down, there's no doubt about it, but I guess there's still, in some areas out there, still some problems.
Okay. So next graph,
Then the next graph shows the, work that we're doing on the fire hydrants on the average days it takes from the time it's reported to the time we have it repaired.
So there's, I looked on this list, there's a fire hydrant at Greenfield Farm Road in 211, that's busted all the pieces and on this list. So I don't know if Ken Clark needs to get with his fire department, or who needs to get with him, but the list ain't accurate.
Is it on 211, that's Bladenburg's fire hydrant. That's Bladenburg.
That's Ken Clark's over the fire department.
Yeah, we've reached out to Bladenburg Fire Department and told them about that hydrant.
Well, it's not on your list, but they don't have to, you don't have to repair that.
No, we don't have to repair Bladenburg's.
Okay. Dang, we need to know how many hot fire hydrants in these towns are busted too. So, I mean, that's another thing we need to be finding out. I didn't realize that.
these town boards.
That's county water out there.
Right. Right, in that one particular area, our water's on one side and Bladenburg's is on the other.
If it's county water, why ain't our hydrant?
Because that's the town of Bladenburg's water.
It's county water on Greenfield Farm Road.
That, he's saying it's not hooked to our line, it's hooked to Lambert's water.
Yeah, it's hooked to
Not-
Bladenburg's
not to
water.
the county.
Lambert's water does not run to Greenfield Farm Road.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'll verify it. I got a dollar is there.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. Why is it taking so many days to repair some of these? Now, some of them at 109 days.
Well, until recently, we were not tracking hydrants from whenever repaired. But now we are, and that's why it was 109 days.
I mean, I thought though, we still get a list of it would be shared or collaborate with all the fire departments.
Right.
So that even if you might have Bladenburg water, Sparkling water, you start getting had stuff with water, we still have those hydrants. So, but you don't have those numbers?
No, I don't have those numbers.
Should they not give it to you, or you should not have those numbers as well?
Well, that's because it's
Because it's individual.
a municipality,
Separate.
it's different than counties.
Well, we need some communication just between the two.
Right.
We got to do something.
It's different, but there's a liability there that this county's responsible for. I don't care whose hydrant it is. If you say it's Bladenburg or Lumberton's, the county is liable somewhat for that fire hydrant if you know about it. And I thought, like Sophia said, I thought we were getting the list from all fire departments, no matter where it was.
We agree.
But I apologize to you next meeting if that water comes from Bladenburg, but I don't think that water comes from Bladenburg out there.
Yeah, because they have a well on Grimsby Farm Road.
But okay.
And then the last thing was the water tap graph, which is getting better as far as the time to get hooked up to our water. That's definitely improving, so that's the highlight of the evening. As far as water.
Yes, and an update on that, there's the, two Camash homes and the one on Old 41 were completed today.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Keep working hard, man. I know you got.
And just a little highlight to let you know that, there's a total of 1,060 hydrants in the county, which covers 460 miles.
So, one more question. So, what's the girl Roger called us?
Out on Green's Farm Road.
Angie Bullard.
We put Angie Buller's tap in a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
The hydrant's right there.
But is it, you talking about the one that's across the railroad track at Tulane?
Off the railroad track. We just put a tap in for that Buller's for
That's the very end of the line.
a county.
The next trailer up towards the railroad track, on the right, is the end of the county line.
Got in somewhere, Rex. All righty. We'll consider exiting sessions, Bladen County Water District Board.
So are we gonna, I'm sure we get some collaboration here with the fire department,
Yes.
so we know where all the hydrants are, or how many we have?
Yeah, I can reach out to them and,
Yes, sir.
What you doing Thursday night? I'll go to the Ammon, let's go to Ammon to the Fire Association meeting and address.
we can do that.
that. All right, we'll do that, and we'll make sure, because most of the chiefs are there at that meeting, and it's just time with everybody there and talking about it, all right?
All right.
See if we can get on their agenda during their chiefs meeting, okay? All right, thank you.
Make a motion with that.
All right, thank you. Motion second?
Second.
All in favor of coming out of water board, let's say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Nothing tonight for advisory boards. We do have that Dublin Fire Service, 3 in White Lake, Planning and Zoning, ETJ 1 coming up on April the 20th. With that, I know County Manager Sam Cream has a few things for us tonight. So take a deep breath and get our heads clear. We still got a ways to go tonight for us, not for y'all, just for us. All right, Mr. Cream.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. Tonight I bring you, the first item is bring you the calendar. This Thursday, April the 9th, it will be at 6 p.m. the Bladen County Firefighters Association meeting, hosted by the Hammond Fire Department, but it's to be held at White Lake Fire Department. So,
Thank you, I did not know that. I missed that, sorry.
it'll be a shorter trip for us that night. And then on April the 13th at 4 p.m. will be the North Carolina Tobacco Trust Fund reception at Bladen Community College at the campus at the greenhouse there in Dublin. At 5 o'clock, be the Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meeting at the Bladen County Health Department. On April the 14th at 6 p.m. will be the Animal Control Board, Bladen County, at the Bladen County Health Department at the conference room. On April the 18th, from 9 to 1, Bladen Community College and Bladen Smart Starts, Touch a Truck and Family Spring Clean at Bladen Community College will be held. On April the 20th at 6:30, the Board of Commissioners will be meeting here at the lower level of the Bladen County Courthouse. April the 21st, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. be the White Lake, the Elizabethtown White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce breakfast. On April the 23rd at 11:30 will be a special joint meeting with the Board of Education and the Board of Commissioners at Building 9 at the Bladen Community College location, and also lunch will be provided. April 27th at 7:30, the Acme Delco's Ringlewood Fire Rescue 55 annual banquet at AGR Station 1.
Let me interrupt you just for a second. That meeting on the 23rd, we are limiting it 11:30 to 1. We'll be done by 1 and let everybody get back to work or wherever you need to be. Thank you. Go ahead.
Going into May 2nd will be the 6th annual May Day Jamboree at Lou Mill Vineyard. On May the 4th at 8 a.m. will be the prayer service in the Commissioner's room. 6:30 that night, the Board of Commissioners will be meeting here in the Commissioner's room. May 11th at 5 p.m. will be the Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meeting at the Bladen County Health Department. On May the 14th at 6 p.m., Bladen County Firefighters Association meeting at Baytree Lakes Fire Department. On May the 18th, the Board of Commissioners will be meeting at 6:30. And then on May the 25th, county office buildings will be closed for Memorial Day. And that's it for your calendar
Thank you, Chairman.
Go ahead, that.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
May the ninth, spring cleaning in Bladen, 12 to 9.
Okay. All right, Mr. Green?
We want to, provide some follow-up and another item to the board. Some commissioners toured the courthouse on March the 24th, and we're showing the items needing repairs. If the commissioners would like a tour of that, if you couldn't attend that day, I can arrange a tour of the courthouse. I would like directions on how to proceed with the repairs and the funding of the courthouse. I request, me as the county manager work with the clerk of court to prioritize repair items and develop a budget to address repairs. Once the projects are identified and estimates are received, then I can come back to the board with a budget items on what's to be repaired. Any direction on that?
Yes, sir.
I would like to see the list of findings first, before I give any directions on where to go.
And that's what they're working on, and they'll come back to us with the list. And Judge Gore walked with us after the little luncheon, for Giles Clark, and showed us some concerns she had. We've had other judges to reach out with some, and again, we realize there's some immediate repairs needed, and then some long-term renovation stuff you have to look at later, but absolutely, there's pictures, we've reached out and given opportunity for everyone to come and personally see. Some of you have been able to do that. And the ones that have, I think, have been in shock of how, some of the rooms have gotten.
So can we get a list before we give direction?
Sure. Well,
That's what he's asking for. He's asking for,
if you allow me to work with the clerk of court, I will bring that list
Yeah.
back to the board.
just to bring a list back.
Well, and then he wanted to know budget, but I want to see the list before I decide how we're gonna pay for it.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Prioritize.
And again, I hope all of you will be able to make time to go take a tour of the courthouse. It's worth it. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's gonna do. And again, it's not just, Kristen Hershey, clerk of court, it's Judge Gore and others that have requested, simple things, but things that are needed. A court recorder is in the court, and right now, they're having to sit up and they just want a little table put somewhere. Their chairs like we're sitting in, that are literally ripped to pieces. There's wires hanging out. There's carpet that's rolled up. It's just safety issues. Cheaper to fix a piece of carpet than it is pay somebody when there's a lawsuit or somebody trips up. But, yes, sir.
So there is funds there to repair stuff like that we've always just fixed. I mean, somebody's got a chair that needs replaced, and there's funds to replace it through the court. I mean, they shouldn't be coming to us with a chair to all the pieces.
Again, I gave you a couple of examples. There's a lot of.
I'm just piggybacking on those examples.
The biggest thing that I seen was the ceiling.
Yeah.
The peeling of the ceiling, the rollback of the ceiling, where it's leaking at, there are certain places up there. And so, my thing was not the chair, and that's not what they pointed out.
No.
That was just one thing we see. And that was in the jury box and whatever, and it was just all bad looking, embarrassing. Embarrassing.
But we'll figure out what funds they have that's available.
And the next item is follow-up on the Board of Elections. Scott Stanley has received estimates, and he is looking at a $20,000 budget, and that's to construct and repair handicap parking spaces, ramps, railings, and entrance to the Board of Elections. Just want to see if the board wants us to proceed with that project.
I think it needs to be in the budget. Beside budget time, because, I mean, it's been like that forever, and they need to be that close to the budget. My suggestion.
Question, have they, that includes that door or the entrance and all that?
It does, yes, Commissioner.
That's at the rear of the building, at the rear of the building.
It's gonna be at the handicap, it's gonna be at the rear of the building.
Yeah.
And they would have to go around to the front door.
So, I I would just make a comment while we wait for a budget. Is it July, August?
Take July 1.
July 1. Yeah, as long as they're, okay, that'll be
There
my
should
thing.
be time between.
And time, yeah, before election, make sure they have access.
Before election.
Yeah. How long it takes,
Okay.
you know?
They can give us a drawing of what they can do,
Yeah.
right?
We can request that, yes, Commissioner.
How much time it takes to do it?
And probably not, they don't, it's not work because.
Wow.
Now,
Like
the
say,
Bladen Baptist could.
I mean, like that.
Yes, they could. All right, we'll look at other options on that, so let's just hang on to that until we. No, the only thing is they don't build things, they don't inspect and things like that. I'm sure they could. No worries about it, but they just need to go through that more so. We'll do a volunteer process. Yes, sir.
Then I also want to bring to the board's attention, the proposed property tax reform, the Legislative Select Committee, continues to meet and discuss modifying various aspects of the property tax. The major modification that would affect Bladen County is placing a constitutional amendment on the ballot during the November general election. That's what they're considering now. And that would be directing the General Assembly to set levy limits on the property taxes. It's my understanding that General Assembly is looking to cap the increases on how much the tax base and tax rates could increase each year. The North Carolina County Commissioners Association is holding a special virtual meeting this Thursday, April the 9th, at 3:30, to discuss updates regarding the property tax reforms. The clerk to the board, Ms. Maria Edwards, forwarded an April 2nd email from the County Commissioners Association to board members that has a registration link to that meeting. Please let Ms. Edwards or myself know if you need any assistance getting registered, if you'd like to attend that.
Sure, I got it. We send that one.
And then my final item tonight, just want to get more direction. Bladen County works with a lobbying company called Checkmate. Members of the company have asked if there's any priorities that Bladen County would like assistance from them on to ask in the next North Carolina budget. And this will be at no additional charge. I had discussed with Chairman McGill and Vice Chairman Gooden, and they recommend 3 priorities for the board to consider and provide direction. One is water infrastructure to support adding filtration systems on wells and pumps, and a pump station to assist a total more well, and any other repairs that we can identify that we need in the water system. We're looking right now, probably an estimate somewhere around $20 to $30 million for an ask to improve water conditions. This aligns with the environmental and agricultural and community infrastructure, housing, and transit focused areas of the strategic plan. The second item is courthouse repairs based on the board's tour, asking the state legislator for roughly $2 to $3 million. This would align with safe and prepared community focused area of the strategic plan. And then the third area would be a clinic and pharmacy project in Bladensboro. That's roughly about 1.5 to a $2 million project. And that aligns with healthy community focused area. And also that would partner with Cape Fear Valley and their efforts, and also our economic development areas to keep a pharmacy and a health clinic in that community. And then were the 3 areas, just like to see if that's satisfactory to the board, to see if we can proceed with asking Checkmate to represent us in placing that in the state budget, or at least lobbying for us to do that.
Obviously, it's no guarantee, but you have not because you asked not.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would say that give us time to think about this, because it's the first time I'm hearing it. And, courthouse has money, so I don't know the list of what's needed there. I'm not saying it's not needed, I just don't know what their budget is or their balance is and what the needs are, but I think we need time, the rest of the commissioners need time to think about it and, see if there's anything else that we would like to see on that list.
And if y'all can, either we can wait till the next, board meeting to get in that direction, or we can proceed just by, if anybody has another priority.
I would say let's hold off to the next meeting for anything formal. In between now and the next meeting, if something's on your mind, your heart, you think would be worth a discussion, reach out to Mr. Croom, talk to him about it, and come back again. Obviously, we don't want to wait too long, but we've got some time on this. A part of the reason for the first ask that he mentioned was, we all realize, not just us, every county's having issues with the water, and the infrastructure is just aged. It needs help. We need filters on, I think, 5 wells, and we need all kinds of other things. And it's not money that we're gonna be able to come up with on our own. So, anyhow, so we'll do that, come back next time and catch up with you, sir.
I have a, and I'm asking if I don't know, counties like our county that have a lot of game lands, are counties mitigated with any kind of monies when our acreage is tied up with game land versus other counties?
Not with the state.
Well, we actually met about that this morning, as a matter of fact, and to see if there's something we can do to.
No, they're not.
They're not. Federal government, in the past has done, payments in lieu of taxes.
They have.
But the state has.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's, if we had no federal lands, we get nothing.
Yeah.
40,000 acres of state-owned land in the county that we don't need.
Yeah.
So in the past, the state will show you the tourism, that they say they're drawing in here, and that's your payment. That's.
I got you. Yeah, I was just, what I meant was like a mitigation thing for places like, Harvard, Wade,
So we'll revisit this next time. All right, anything else, Mr. Croom? Any individuals, delegations wishing to address the commissioners? Anything else from the commissioners? Not, I'll entertain a motion to go in. I'm sorry, I looked the wrong way.
I mentioned it 2 meetings ago, when we saw what, in our pre-budget, the need for heating and air. And also representing this board at the college, on the college board, Mr. Troy's here, and he knows I brought it up at our board meeting there. I'd like to see the answers, because we owe it to these people sitting out here and the ones that's not here. We're talking about taxes, night and budgets. We have a constant $1 million a year or plus when it comes to the school board, the college, and the county on heat and air. I would love for you, Mr. Chairman, with Mr. Croom, my suggestion and request with the board, that we entertain putting a small group together with the county, with the school board, and the college to see the feasibility that we do our own heat and air to save this county a ton of money by exploring, maybe hiring somebody in the heat and air business that's very knowledgeable, and work with each one, because we're the ones that's responsible for all their needs when it comes to that. And I have said it for years, and this is one way to start back trying to see where we can save a tremendous amount of money when you look at the raw cost versus what you'd have to pay. And us work together. But you need to start somewhere, and I think that's a good thing to do.
So, Mr. Cameron, there's already a task force looking at that, but Mr. Croom's part of it, I was, and Cameron can certainly go on that, but we ain't be able to get them to meet lately, so if we ain't got a meeting before we meet with the school board, then we need to, that'd be a good time to talk about it, but it's basically already in place.
Right, and I did talk to, the president of the college about, working even through their tech programs. And there were some concerns there about just liability and things like that to work through, but definitely a conversation to have. Anything we can do to, just evaluate whether it's cheaper to hire contractors to do it, or whether it's cheaper for us to have people that are on the payroll to do it. Pros and cons of both, but it's a conversation to have. And so, Mr. Croom, if you'll follow up with that.
We're falling asleep, so I can tell you. You need to want to talk, you need to meet and do action. I know the raw cost, and I know what we're paying, and we're responsible for the college, and then when you look at the maintenance and the repairs, and I think if you look at what we've got in pre-budget, about $1 million with the county and Eaton there coming up, and we're sitting here talking about taxes.
So if we can just follow up with that with the subcommittee and, what's the best use of the county money when it comes to, and probably across the board. I mean, we've had bids of $30,000 to paint a building.
Well, I think that's big, like that school board's down to 5 people on maintenance now.
Yeah.
So now they contracting everything out.
They just, their HFE guys just left.
When you see some of the
They have
prices
zero.
that we're paying for stuff, some of us in the wrong business.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the commissioners tonight? Not, I've entertained a motion to go into closed session in accordance with NCGS 143-318.118.3, attorney-client privilege. Second. All right, all in favor, say aye. Brief recess.
This conference will now be recorded.
A motion to come out of closed session for a second.
Second, he did.
All in favor, say aye. Motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?